that you get fate points back. A good aspect is often double-edged. So something like you could have like a hot-headed fighter pilot, which will help you in you won't be having dogfights or something like that in written, but in general. But also I could say, well, you're hot-headed, you're going to deck that guy or whatever. You always have a choice. You either you can pay it so that you can avoid it, or you can eat it. Eating it is usually more interesting.
It will almost always make for a better story.
Yes. One of the key things about Unwritten is one of the key rules of Unwritten is be awesome and help everyone else be awesome. And in Unwritten, that means be awesome as you would be in a Myst game, which means solving problems, figuring things out, doing something thrilling and heroic, rushing into that cave, that sort of thing. So unlike D&D, you worry about how much damage you get and how many levels. It's about the interesting story. So it's like, that would be awesome. Do it. I tend to run a very flexible version of this, in the sense that if you have an idea, like, wouldn't it be awesome if, pitch it. I may go with it. Or you can with a fate point, you can also try to declare a detail. Like, well, we're running away from those guys, and that bridge just happens to be a little creaky. And you can spin a fate point. Like, yeah, that sounds good. Wow, that's a creaky bridge now. So, it's very collaborative. Don't expect, if you're trying to think of what would I do, ask other people, ask me.
Yeah, we have the...
ask the watchers out there.
I wasn't going to...
It's fine. We own it.
Yeah. That sort of thing.
Peanuts are awesome unless you have an allergy, in which case of soy nuts.
We're the soy nut gallery.
There you go. So,
unless you have a soy nut.
other aspects of your character is, you'll have a high concept, which is sort of like how you describe your character in one phrase. Like, I've got some pre-gen characters, like a logic-minded skeptic. It's what you fall back to. It's like, I don't know what to do. I'll act like a logic-minded skeptic. You'll have other what are called journey aspects. Your pre-gen character will have one provided for you. And in this game, we're not using, you normally can have like 5. This game, I only have slots for 2 to make it simpler. And if you think of something that you think would be interesting for your character, just write it in. Let me know. There are skills, the skill pyramid over here, where it shows, a skill name and then what level you're at. Experiment, notice, research, record, finesse. It's a broad. They're all broad skills, and so you can run with that. And they're listed by.
1 through 10 for autographs. Go ahead.
It goes up from adequate, which is a +1. Fair +2, good +3, great +4. And you'll notice that your top one is probably the one you'll be doing the most with. So just kind of keep an eye on it. There's also things called stunts and resources. They're essentially little extra bits. Like this character has data miner. When presented with a large amount of information, gains a +2 on research rolls. Different characters have different things. Finally, there are these things called consequences, which is things that happen to you. There's no hit points in this game, but sometimes something can happen to you, and I can declare it a consequence. And essentially, it's another aspect on you, but it's always negative. And I will look at it and try to puddle it into the game as much as possible. You can do something. You can, usually figure out, like, if there was a way I could, can I fix my broken leg? Can I put a splint on? We'll figure it out, and that might change it, and set it to recovery and get it better later, that sort of thing. For those of you who played Fate, I said there is no stress in this. There is no attack action in Unwritten, because in Myst games, that's not how you solve problems. It's not, technically there's a way to do violence if you really want to, For example, in one of my games, someone took a linking book and smacked it in someone's face to force link them. So they had a bloody nose and they linked into the age. But that's it was a creative solution to a problem, and that's kind of what think of it Unwritten as sort of steampunk's near to your friend.
Mindless violence not okay.
Yeah.
Intelligence violence is fine.
I mean, even then, how many times in this game have you seen actual violence?
A few times.
Multiple times at the end of the exit.
Yeah, at the end, usually it's Savidro. No. Yeah, exactly. But so normal Fate Core has an attack action. This does not. Fate has a discovery action, which Fate Core does not, which is about gathering information. We'll get through the specifics of all this as we go along, and just remember that the rules are to help us tell the story. They don't control what you do. So if you have an idea, I'm like, I want to do X, we'll figure out how to make the rules do it. Or if it's really awesome, I'll just go, okay, awesome, you do it, and then we'll move on. Also, don't expect to roll on every little thing. Like, I climb up the hill. Good, you climb up the hill. Yeah. So we'll hand out our fate points. These are fate points from the that we got made during the Kickstarter. No. Each person gets 3. And I think we've got a nice enough dice here to have everybody get their own set of fake dice. Are we out?
I suspect.
3, 3, 3,
I think we all got it. Yeah.
3.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, there you go.
And
You'll just greatly be anticipating when we start spending them.
yeah. Does everybody have dice? Okay. These are also from the
Okay, never
Kickstarter.
mind. I got some.
Oh, you got
Oh,
them?
right, he already has it.
And you got those are your dice. Okay, I'll get mine.
Oh,
Anybody need a
mine.
pencil or anything?
I know.
I got a couple
right,
pencils.
I didn't.
I have a pen. Will the pen do?
Sure. Any writing instrument you prefer, as long as it's not someone's blood.
I would love a pencil.
There you go. Also, I often use index cards for just notes and aspects, and I'll just kind of write them, throw them around, and that sort of thing. So you'll see those fly around. Okay.
You know what? Forget the numbers. If you want something signed, go.
How are we doing in terms of the camera stuff? How are we doing in terms of camera stuff?
It's right there.
Oh, it's running?
Yeah, it's there. Go.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we've got some pre-made characters, like some basic stuff. So it's kind of a first come, first serve, who calls it first. Let me read out the high concepts. We have a logic-minded skeptic, an Indiana Jones at heart, a modern nomad adventurer. We have just your average suburbanite, old school techno whiz, and unflappable crisis manager.
Can I take that?
What?
Can I take that?
The unflappable crisis manager? Absolutely. There you go. Now, like I said, these I'll say after that. But, so who else wants? Anybody else?
I want Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones at heart. There you go.
I think that logic-minded skeptic might be the best fit for myself.
There you go.
Either that or I'm trying to remember. There was one other that sounded close.
Old school tech whiz, just your average suburbanite.
Possibly old school tech whiz. I don't know. How do you choose?
It's up to you. You could flip a coin. You got a couple in front of you. Roll a dice. You got some of those too. Did either you guys have a preference of old school tech whiz?
I'll take old school tech.
Okay, so you can do that. So we got
I'm an old school tech.
modern nomad adventurer and just your average suburbanite.
Just your average suburbanite.
Yes,
There you go.
it's right there.
All right. There you go. And you're the hot one.
Yes.
So these are character sheets from a different demo that I usually do for people who know nothing about Myst. So I've crossed out a couple things because they're not important to this particular session.
That's basically me.
Yeah, it's the top half. The top half is the character sheet, and then there's little things to talk about. What the high concept is, what the things are, some questions you might want to look at. Just to think about your character. If you get stuck, look for that sort of thing. Come up with your own name. If you want, you can fill in the second aspect. If not, that's fine. And if you think of a great idea during the middle of the game, we'll add it in. We'll blank. You can fill in the blank. So, we can just think of a name.
While I think of a name, I'm gonna go see if I can retrieve my pencil. I like that pencil.
Oh, there you go. Now, while you're thinking, let me give you the. I'll wait till she's back. Because you will be all part of a group. So. And if you have any questions at any point, just ask. And if anybody out there has questions at any point, ask.
Okay.
You doing the second campaign? You doing the second campaign?
Am I? I don't have one to play on, but I'm bribable. Cookies are a good start. We can start a bidding war.
Wait, a bidding war against someone who is bribing you not to do it?
As long as there are more bribes, I don't care. Keep them coming. Actually,
So what you want first is a name.
yep. In fact, actually, I'm gonna hand you, hand people some index cards that turn into a name tent. So pass those down. Write your name. Make sure it's facing me, so I know who you are. I know who I am, so I don't need one.
Character name or?
Character name.
All right.
Feel free to put your, Kyle's referring to you as your character. Feel free to put your other name, other name. your actual name on there, if you like. Please don't put any, nasty messages or anything like that.
I could be my actual name, couldn't I?
If you like, yeah. Any name, any name that works, you think, for your character.
You are you.
You are, yeah.
Therefore,
If you want, yeah.
Did you find it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
therefore I can be Theo.
You darn near need a new eraser.
Neil.
Maybe we put making
Neil.
mistakes.
That's a good no man.
Most daring and sexy name of all.
Okay, there you go.
I've got like
Couple
your
little
no
bits
less years, but that's just like
Yeah,
in front of
there
the
you go.
TV and watch it.
Montgomery
Thanks. My real name.
When I was
Gentleman adventurer.
Gentleman adventure.
I graduated high school.
Okay. What's your name on there, Kev?
Yeah.
You're going with the character as Kev as well?
I graduated in 06.
Davis?
2 years. Yeah. Just calling it.
Oh no. The fair thing is we've all got old people bodies.
Hetty? Andy.
Andy. Andrea.
There you go. So, you will all be people who have known each other before. So, the basic thing is that you're going to be members of a group. Let's step back a bit. So, this is set in the cavern, post Mist Online. It's been 10 years, etc. Since the DRC left. But the DRC left, but the explorers stayed. And they've been just sort of trying to, keep going. I mean, some people, wandered back off to the, to the surface and kind of forgot. Some people show up every once in a while. Some people decided, we're the new Dunedin, and we're gonna do. So there have been small groups of people. There are people who just there are independent journalists, independent explorers and academics come down. There are people who have gone off into to ages and decided it's time to restart. Whether it's just their life or restart society out there somewhere else, that sort of thing. The modern guilds are still around. They're small, but the maintainers are still there. I mean, the greeters are still around. There's a couple, of the cartographers around. The writers are always trying to figure out how to write pages. So that's still going on. A couple of them seem to have gotten somewhere, but they're not sharing very much.
And all of these groups that you're talking about are still groups of explorers. They're
Yes.
not original Dunny.
No original Dunny. It's pretty much, no one's seen an original Dunny
In a long,
in a long time. No one's seen a borrow in a decade.
Do we still have Relto books or keys?
Yes, if you like. Now, Relto books are not as common as they once were because it stopped being easy to get them. Just because you can't just walk into the class and get a Relto book anymore. But so there are people who don't have them. You decide whether you have them or not. Keys are well distributed. The key distributors in Garrison still work, and they just keep spitting them out, and no one knows if they're ever going to run out or not. But they do. People have kind of worked out. The usual places where people show up. They put up signs. They do the whole Relto book. Do the whole Nexus book thing. And direct people there. Like I said, people have set up shop. There are small general stores here and there that people, enterprising people have come in. At some point, someone brought down porta potties. That sort of thing. So there's a little bit of barter going on, that sort of thing. Now, you guys are a part of a group that's known as the Society for Creative Dungeoneering.
Oh no!
And it
wrong
started
with
off as
that?
a tongue-in-cheek thing by a group of members of the Society for Creative Anachronism, and they got together with a group of people who called themselves skydivers, who would jump off high points with their Relto book and then Relto back before they hit the ground, which became very popular for them because when you Relto, but
Oh dear lord!
yeah, so. They got together kind of with the SCA people and a couple of the more gung ho maintainers, and some people started calling them Society for Creative Engineering, and they're like, hey, that sounds kind of cool. And then the strange thing happened is people began to take them a little bit seriously, like it's like hey, we got this weird thing over here. You want to look at it? Like, yeah, go get my Relto book. Yeah. So, over the last couple of years, the Society for Creative Dungeoneering has become this sort of like elite subgroup of the maintainers.
They're troubleshooters.
They're troubleshooters, yes. And they tend to specialize in we go into new places before anyone else does, and if someone gets stranded, we go after them. And they've definitely sort of upped their game, and they actually have been doing training, and everybody has some basic training on how to deal with themselves in the wilderness and that sort of thing. So it's gone from sort of a joke to an actual kind of useful arm of the maintainers. You guys,
We're basically an eccentric group of searchers.
yeah, exactly. You guys are a part of that group, and so. When we're looking at your character, I'm going to give you about a couple more minutes to look at your characters. Think of that as part of it, and then we'll start with a little bit of an intro.
You did mention that the DRC haven't been around for the last decade.
The DRC has been gone. They haven't been around. Laxton shows up every once in a while. He's still fiddling with the lattice and that sort of thing and the keys. There's been some Watson sightings every once in a while.
I have to add a particular aspect.
Go for it. There have been some Watson sightings. Someone said they saw Mary Southern on the round, that sort of thing. But no one's heard a thing from Kate Alexander.
I might have that because
What is it?
I might have that
Oh, okay. There you go.
because
There you go.
what sort of odds and ends do I have in here? A lot. I was thinking about. I'm like, you know what? This is basically me.
There you go. Now, one of the things is, I don't really tend to care very much about, really detailed like equipment lists or something like that. Unlike Uru, if you think you would be carrying a flashlight, you are. So like basic things like, I brought a knife, or I brought, my Leatherman tool. Or,
Yeah, whereas this would allow me to go,
Yeah.
I might have this piece of a gear
Yeah.
because I saw it back in,
Yeah.
and I thought it looked interesting, so I
Yeah,
stuck it
yeah.
in my bag.
Yeah. Oh, like,
It's the little more odd thing.
exactly. Like,
And given the
50
fact
feet
that-
of rope? Really? I thought about buying you that.
I mean, literally outside. My boyfriend said, actually, it was you. You needed the spoon for your chili. And you're like, oh, I didn't get a spoon. I'm like,
There you go.
because I grabbed a second one on accident.
Somebody mentioned Leatherman.
There you go. See, we're moving into live action role playing, which is fun.
Well, they
yeah,
don't make them
I was
this
thinking
big
about
that
it,
fold
I'm
up
like,
that small
Yeah.
anymore.
Small stuff is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's like, given the nature of the character,
Oh, she's certified
which is
what?
old school techno whiz
Construction authority.
can fix
There you
stuff.
go. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, okay, how do I play things? How do I think about things?
Yeah.
If I see something that looks weird or interesting, I'm likely to pick it up.
Yeah.
And I'll just stick it in my bag without thinking about
There you go.
it. Therefore, I might have that is a perfectly reasonable trait.
Exactly. So I just need a few more. If anybody needs a few more minutes to kind of think about their character or ask some questions, we can do that.
Should we
Otherwise,
also think about how long you've been possible part of this?
I was going to get to that after that. So
That is part of story.
yes.
Imagine what would mean to be not as boring as I seem.
Well, that means the idea behind that one is that you would likely have, surprising skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Those
just,
suburbanites
just
with the sex dungeon in the basement.
like unexpected casual experience.
Yeah. The idea is kind of with this one is that you look like just your average suburbanite, but there's something beneath the surface there because your average suburbanite wouldn't just show up in the knee. So I mean, and an average suburbanite would definitely not be a part of this group.
Yeah.
So there's definitely other things going on.
Okay, yeah.
Anybody have any particular questions at this point?
Prepared.
Okay. Give you another minute, and then you'll introduce your characters, and we'll do the first part of the story.
Excellent.
I need the Jeopardy theme song.
Much thinking, many thoughts.
Yes.
Although sometimes there's not that many thoughts.
Yeah. And we'll start off by reenacting the Path of the Shell puzzle from where everybody just sits around for 15 minutes and does nothing.
There are getting to be more games like that where it's like if you just sit and quietly do nothing,
Honestly-
eventually something will happen. Much
Honestly,
like
it's
real
kind
life.
of satisfying when
Well-
people realize that that's what you have to do because whenever you're watching someone who's just used to playing a game, that's the hardest thing for them to do.
Oh yeah.
It was one of the one of the kind of first-person action ones that came out recently, and the Cuban modulator basically tells you sit tight for 15 minutes. he goes off and does something. And if you sit tight for 15 minutes, you get the good end.
There you go.
Go make yourself a sandwich.
No, it's literally just sit on the couch and wait 15 minutes.
Amazing.
And then he comes back, he deals with all the funeral stuff, and you get to go home.
Oh.
You don't get dragged into a war, shot at, etc. You get the good end.
Wow.
So is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Good. Do you have any questions, or just need some more time?
I'm sort of trying to think about the aspects still.
The questions
You don't have
will
to-
unfold with the rest.
Exactly.
You
And
don't
you
have
don't
to
have to
fill
do
in
it right
the
away.
No, I know. I'm just sort of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Odds are, it'll come to you about a third of the way into the game.
Yeah. Very often in Fate games, people will do is they'll even leave like skill trees and stuff like the skill blank and tell as they play and they go, oh, this character does seem like they would know this. And you fill the blanks in.
Yep.
One shot, we're not going to do that too much, but Fate's a very flexible system, and it's very much you do it because it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, don't do it.
These are yours.
Oh,
That's your cradle, right?
yeah,
I
and the
didn't
power
want,
supply.
I didn't want it to get lost.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
And clearing up our
So we're going to do
puzzle
introductions. So everybody, once again, we're going to do character introductions. You're going to You're going to, introduce your character, give a quick physical description, and you're going to describe how the person on your, how the character on your right saved your life.
That's easy.
I like it.
And this is part of, your shared history. And feel free, to collaborate. If you hit if you're like, I don't know, ask for suggestions. So, Neil, your name. Neil.
So I start with what?
Name and description.
Neil. Neil, just your average suburbanite. Just what? Any assholes? And that's it, or?
You could just describe it in any way.
Before coming to the cavern, I've been apparently retired, possibly retired for a number of years. Though I don't really talk about what I actually did.
There you go.
Yeah. And
There you go.
yeah.
And
How did I save your life?
how did Montgomery
Montgomery
Hendricks.
Hendricks, gentleman adventurer.
save your life?
I actually came into the cavern the long way. The long way. And got lost.
Oh boy.
There you go.
So I never actually picked up. So I never got a relative.
There you go.
I find you laying on the ground.
And I was just lost in some corridor and resigned to death eventually.
Helped you out.
There you go. So maybe that's kind of part of how you got into this group. Is that it's like Montgomery took you under your wing, under the ring. So
Yeah.
All right. I am Montgomery Hall, gentleman adventurer. I am a trained archaeologist, which means I have a bachelor's degree in anthropology. I am here in the cavern to discover ancient Denny artifacts. It's not going great, actually. Not super good, my job.
okay. And how did Davis save your life?
In the course of my job, I often find myself in sticky situations, and in this situation, I was just stuck under a big rock for a couple hours. And Davis came along and raised the alarm and kept me from chewing off my own arm.
Dave is a unflappable crisis manager after all.
Exactly. I was just like, I can't bite off my arm.
Oh, is this no?
Unwritten.
Unwritten.
Yeah. Feel free. Go over that seat if you want to.
I don't know how to play, so I'll just watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we got a full table.
Oh, those are cool dice.
Yeah, we have a full group, but if you want to watch, if it matters to you, we're being recorded, so if you are afraid of cameras, don't be here. But if you don't mind cameras, feel free to have a seat. Okay.
I'm Davis. I think I sort of got left behind when the DRC pulled out.
Okay.
Basically, what I know about organization stuff that I picked up as part of that organization. I'm basically still here because obviously everyone still needs a crisis manager.
So you used to work for DRC?
I used to. I don't.
Were you official rezzing, or were you just a contractor? Or?
Contractor. I think.
Okay. And
Andy saved my life after I got my hand stuck in the key machine.
I love it.
a key machine in some forgotten corner of Dunedin.
Yes.
I'm gonna die here.
Andy, holding more Andrea, but frequently just known as Handy Andy. Female, usually dresses coveralls, covered in some grime, grease, or other unspeakable fluid substance. Has been around in one place or another, sometimes places people don't want her to be. But in general, it's like if you show her something, she can generally tell you what it is. Sure. Even if it's like an old 76 Macintosh. And she could probably get it to work.
There you go.
As for how would you pronounce your name?
Catherine.
Kefrith. Basically, Andy was futzing about with some bridge device in one of the back caverns, and triggered something, and ended up stranded on the far side. As in, the entire thing fell apart. And it's like, guys, shit. Just kind of kept hollering, and eventually he wandered down the right corridor, and it's like, yeah, just like go and get someone and bring back rope.
There you go.
I'm glad we're all dumbasses.
No. In my case, it's my curiosity and faulty technology got me into this. Faulty technology can get me out.
You just walked into the cafe.
Oh, go.
Alright, I'm Kefrith, modern nomad adventurer. I'm kind of trying to find a new life in the cavern, make it a home for myself, and find somewhere to settle, to put down my roots.
Awesome.
And
Theo.
Theo.
Doesn't look especially useful, does it?
Yeah.
Well, no, your top skill there is experiment, which is sort of the Atris figures things out by playing with them. So that's a very
Push
useful skill in
buttons,
this game.
get reward.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very useful skill in this game.
Although sometimes it gets you in trouble.
Yes.
There
yes, it
goes
does.
the bridge.
Yeah, there goes the bridge. Yeah, maybe you spend too much time experimenting and don't teach your kids good values. Yeah.
Let
Like
them
somebody
just
we
kind
might
of
know, yeah.
run rampant and
Yeah, that's kind of
various
run
ages.
rampant and destroy ages and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Theoretically.
Remember that the theme of the entire Mist arc is Atris's bad parenting.
Yep. Pay attention to your children.
Good generation, bad
Perhaps you
generation.
actually-
Good
perhaps you
generation,
actually
bad
find yourself
generation.
in a-
Good generation,
in
bad
an
generation.
age that seems ideal, but his judgment actually saves you from a very from what would have been, but his better judgment may have saved you from a very dangerous fate.
Yeah, okay, I was, yeah, except for that, I was going to go to the age looking for something to eat, though.
Sure. Look, new place, new experiences, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Theo here. Give a description of Theo, and then how did Neil save your life?
Theo here. Theo here has a corporate background.
Okay.
To his original background in locksmithing, he added engineering as an education and a professional least briefly, but eventually wound up in corporate security.
There you go.
One of his fellow workers, co-worker, was accused of call it white-collar crime. And apparently the best alibi, the best reference for him, is somebody who was last known to be exploring in the cavern.
Okay.
So he's trying to find the alibi resources for a co-worker that he believes to be innocent.
There you go.
Of course, the corporation was willing to back him to a certain extent because they believe in their man too.
There you go.
So he was reasonably equipped, but didn't have quite everything on him when a rock ledge gave way.
Uh-oh.
Thinking fast, seeing things starting to disintegrate, Theo called to Neil, who tossed Theo his Relto book.
There you go.
Okay.
Theo's on his way down, but Theo has his own Relto book to get out with now, and will not be without it again. Though he may share it from time to time.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Okie doke. Okay. So the situation is that there's been the head of the maintainers, a guy named Bob. People call him Bob the Rebuilder. But older guy, has a pretty good head on his shoulders. He called a couple people together, and they're like, we need some of these, some of our Dungeoneer guys here. We got something come up. We got some kind of a weird thing that's come up. So word gets around, to you guys. You come in to say, what can we do to help? Situation is that he's gotten a key message from Laxman, and Laxman has found suddenly a signal from a key, but a signal in a format and protocol that he does not recognize. He's never seen anything like it on the key system. But it's coming from Garrison. Given how dangerous Garrison can be, Laxman thought we need to get some more people on this, and Bob's like, we need this could be potentially really bad. No one knows what's around there and what the animals are like. So let's send in our experts at dangerous situations. So the Pelvian says, give you the rundown. Because unfortunately, we don't know anything else about what's going on. We just know that somewhere in Garrison, there's some sort of weird key signal coming in, and we need to take a look at it. So we don't know much, so that's why we call you guys.
And we're the experts in dangerous situations because we have the most experience surviving them.
That last part is the most important part. Experience surviving
them, and the willingness to take risks.
That Indiana Jones initiative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okie doke. And they're like, the first thing he'll ask is, so is there any special equipment you think you might need? And what it is that each of you will get a chance to request one special item, which I will make into an aspect for you. Yeah. And feel free to be a little bit creative here. Something,
So the signal is coming from somewhere out in the jungle?
It's somewhere in Garrison. They couldn't hasn't been able to specify where in Garrison. So, if
well, with regard to Garrison or Garrison or however you prefer to pronounce it,
sure.
There is really only one known safe place to link in, and that's in the middle of the rotating room in the five-sided building.
Yeah.
Anything else you could materialize inside a wall or something.
Yeah, without a properly synced linking timer.
Yeah.
And do they still have access to the linking timer for the upper prison level in the hexagonal building?
Laxman does not have access to it any longer. All the information they had about that, the DRC had, and he no longer has access to that particular thing. If you want to make the fact that you found some research about it into your item, I can do that. If you want to say, you can say, you've managed to find some special research, and that would be your aspect. Or not.
Maybe that would be something that would be more appropriate for me to have as an aspect.
If you like, absolutely.
Like access to old research, stuff that I have onto it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that would make sense for you.
Well,
Yeah. So let's make we're gonna give that aspect, DRC. Research.
That can be invaluable on several levels.
Yeah. There you go.
can I ask questions based on his research?
Well, if he shares it with you. Okay. Does anybody else want to utilize this option to get access to a special item or resource for this particular trip?
I definitely think so, but I need to know a little bit first. With regard to lattice and keys, are these only traceable to an age, or are they something that's directly trackable within an age?
It's possible to track a key within an age. You have to be connected. You have to have direct access to the lattice to do it. However, essentially, what it is you're reading there, it's GPS, it's GPS, through the lattice. So, would you like a key with special access to the lattice?
That's what I'm thinking. Yes.
There we go.
Because without that, Garrison is a big place.
Yep.
And there are parts that are risky to get into.
There you go. You got a high access key.
Very difficult to climb to without access to the tower.
Yep.
Oh, what if this guy's, hiding in the wall roof?
Yeah. Okay.
Being able to rule that out somehow would be a great value. Even just to know where they're not would be a great value.
Maps
Of
Garrison.
uh-huh.
I mean, like, old maps.
Old Denis maps.
Yeah, old dunny maps.
Yeah, Bob knows somebody in the Guild of Cartographers.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, okay, he's got a high access key. He's got the old research. I want the old maps.
There you go. Go ahead and pass that down. There.
Because you never know what you'll find on the old maps. It's like, oh, okay, let me locate where we are. We're here.
Sure.
There's a passage here. We can go through there.
Sounds good. Kefrith, do you have a specific request?
Actually, it makes me wonder. Wonder. What level of skill might what's your concept?
Engineering.
Like
But my high concept is old school techno whiz.
Yeah.
old school techno whiz.
And Kefrith, what's your top skill there in grade?
Athletics.
There you go. So you're the one that's going to be climbing all over everything and doing the dare and do.
Yeah, yes. I'm just trying to figure out what sort of thing would I
The funny thing is,
I have
old
a
school maps
suggestion
might
for
be
something
more
you might
thorough.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for something that might be useful.
Okay.
I was gonna do
Climbing
stuff.
equipment.
That was gonna be me.
Climbing equipment? Does that sound good, Kefrith?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
I mean, your modern nomad adventurer, yeah, climbing equipment.
Yeah, that's what
If you wanted to get more broad, survival equipment would be more broad.
Would you climbing or you like broader with survival?
Climbing.
Sure. There we go.
Because the thing is being more specific means you have better of that thing.
Yeah.
More broad means
Yeah,
you
more
have the more generic, but
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, what's the key network? Like, I don't know if any of us have the skill to see how we can utilize that.
Well, we've got a high access key.
I just
here.
bought one.
Right, yeah, that's right.
The rest of
I
you
know
have
one
regular
thing that would
keys anyway,
actually
so
help
we
us
are
get
in
into the
touch.
tower.
yeah. With a high access key, that kind of makes you the party lead, though.
A marker spike.
You know those marker spikes that they in the fortress?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, like the ones that they use for
Yes,
setting the
they
zeros and
normally
ages.
put those on static things.
Okay.
That can be used to actually synchronize and track the rotation of the fortress.
There you go.
I don't remember those. What are they from?
They have the maintainer circle on the top, and it's just this puck thing that seems to
Ah.
be over the ground.
There's a spike on the end of that.
Yes, there's a spike on the end of that because it needs to be embedded because it's meant to be a permanent fixture.
Yeah. And in most ages, and in explored ages, that'll be where it's the 0 point of the GPS. It's the origin point.
I've been on the rock that includes that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I remember.
Yes. So
Oh,
with another one of those, if it's put in the
So I'm thinking I want to bring some archaeological survey equipment.
Okay.
So basically geographic imaging equipment that can
Like,
And if anything, that'll help
detect
with the map.
secret pockets behind things.
are you talking like a
and
full like
density.
geophys outfit, or
Oh, a little small.
Smaller?
A little
Okay.
more fantastically.
But you're talking like geophys.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen Time Team. So, yeah, I know what geophys is.
You've seen what?
Time Team. It's a British archaeology show where and the geophys is the stuff that they run over the ground to run electricity.
Ah.
Yeah, it's
So eventually you'll write on that card and
Yeah.
can see what's going on in the ground.
And the kicker is with some survey equipment, you combine that with the old maps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can locate important things.
Exactly.
It
So this
says
is-
there's supposed to be a passage here. Let's find out if there is a passage here.
This is turning into a game an episode of Denis Time Team.
Kind of.
Okay. Okay, so now that for you guys to figure out, okay, how are you going to approach this? What are you guys going to go to the ground? You guys going to put together a plan?
I think putting together a plan is a good idea. just simply because we need to figure out how to approach this.
Sure.
My suggestion, first of all, is once we figure out the aspects of getting in, we need to start triangulating where the signal's coming from.
Sounds like my job.
From there, we can use the maps, work our way around to at least a point where we can hopefully see where the source is coming from before we have to actually interact with it. In case, gee, I don't know, it's a trap?
I mean, triangulating is going to take at least 2 people.
Three.
Why
But
do
you only need to have one person do the triangulation at each point. You just need a map and a line.
Why do you need more than one person and a clock? You're on a rotating platform. Timing of your readings gives you
All the
more information than you get.
But you also need to be able to place that in physical space-time. Spatial relativity, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's Well,
With your aggregate skills, you can probably work it out.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'll just make sure that I have my tablet and a solar charger and all that.
If we can get into the lower, do we have a means of actually finding a means of linking into
Actually,
the prison?
there's the next question. Who here does have Relto books?
I've got
I
the
do.
one.
I've got mine.
I do. I found one.
Okay. Do you have a rotor book?
Maybe not.
Okay. Well, then you don't have.
I figure I probably do.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay, so people without Relto books, always be with a buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
First rule of safety, be with somebody who has a Relto book.
Well,
It's
this is easy. It's alternate positions. He saved my life. I'll share with him.
There you go.
I'll share with you.
Well, you said you've got one.
Oh, wait, you got
He's got one.
Okay.
We only have 2 people that don't.
Oh,
That makes it easy.
the two of you have them?
Yes, I have.
Side by side. So the two of you
So
matched
he's the
somehow
only
to the
one
two of you.
that- I have one.
Oh.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, just
So we got those
Oh,
2. That's why I was asking. I wanted to be sure.
okay. I thought we had 3. We have 4.
Yeah, we have 4.
4 is
Relto
better
books.
than 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it does mean we can split off a little bit more. I still think the idea of staying in pairs is a good idea.
Yeah. Well,
Especially at least until we have a better idea of what we're dealing with.
staying together as much as possible.
That's another thing we should at least ask about getting is radios once we're in there, so that we can stay in communication.
Well, you have your keys.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, the keys to that as well.
Now,
I keep forgetting that.
Now, my idea with the container spike is that if we have a means of actually linking into the top of the fortress, we can actually place this in the fortress and actually be able to externally track the rotation of it to link in at the right time.
If anything, you guys start putting together an idea, I gotta go talk to the makers and make sure to get a few things added onto my PDA. I'll be back.
Okie doke. So, sounds that you guys have put together starts of a plan. So, everybody, we'll go around. And you can tell me what you're doing. You're doing in preparation. So let's start. All right. So, what are you doing in preparation?
Well, you see, I got this container spike, which I stole from an age, with a jackhammer that I stole from another age. I don't have that with me because it's very heavy.
Yes.
and heavy, and I figured this might be useful.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm readying my survey equipment because my secret hope is that there will be secret passages everywhere I go that
There
I'll
you
be
go.
able to find. So fingers crossed for that.
I'm making sure that the research notes that I have are organized properly and easy to sort through, and also properly verify what other equipment that I have and making sure it's all functional.
Getting together some computer software, making a quick 3D render of the old Dunny maps, talking with a maintainer group to get basically a link-in program for the marker spike so that I can track it once we're in there.
Sure.
And making sure to just kind of do in whatever workroom, grab stuff in bag.
Sure.
And at this point, it's the kind of got the shoulder bag like that, but also have a pack for extra supplies.
Sounds great. What's Kefrith up to?
Uh,
Getting together supplies, getting ready for a long trip out in a long trip possibly out in the jungle sort of thing.
yeah, yeah, just it says my resources. I have old kit bags, so I'll just stuff that with all and all the survival stuff I can find.
Sure. Sounds great. And what's Theo doing? Just to get ready,
Well, Theo is focusing on two different things. One of them is to check through the shelves in his Relto and see what books he has. What books does he have?
Oh, what books does he have?
Well, I'm sure hoping he has the regular Greason book,
Oh yeah.
the regular Dunny Agura book, the regular Nexus book, the regular Bevan book.
If you think that your character would have gone through the appropriate parts of like the journey or such, sure.
Well, he was looking for somebody, and
So,
you
yeah.
want to cover a good deal of the ground. I'll understand if the Greason book does not include a page for that upper level.
It does not.
It does not. But hey, I'm reasonable to conclude that most of the stuff I'm used to being in my Relto is in my Relto.
Sounds good.
The other side of it is rounding up supplies of the sort that might be useful for sustaining someone we might find.
Oh, there you go.
Water, food,
Sounds good.
first aid materials.
There we go. Sounds great.
I was sorry. I was sort of taking it for granted that I was carrying first aid materials.
Well, I mean, there'll be some.
It
Yeah.
can't hurt to have extras.
We definitely want
We
that.
want some for the team, but we also want to be able to offer something
Yeah,
in
it's that he's
aid.
specifically thinking about
Right.
if we run into somebody that's hurt,
And,
we
you know,
have extra supplies.
And yeah, but if he brought, obviously
I mean-
your character would have brought that sort of thing.
Right. No, that's
he's got some extra too.
I was sort of. It's just
Yeah.
something that I was thinking about when I was
Right.
preparing other
Oh,
extra
yeah.
equipment, and I just sort of thought it went without saying.
It probably
Well,
does.
It doesn't hurt for more than one person to have medical
Yeah.
supplies.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
something that might even be attractive on a barter level.
Oh, there you go. Okay, first contact
I
situation.
mean, like for example, I might have some medical supplies in my bags. It's just they're probably covered in like axle grease.
Not necessarily even a first contact situation, just another person situation where you might actually need to make a deal.
Sounds great.
Come to the dark side. We have bacon.
Exactly. It'd be Bacan, B apostrophe C-O-N.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there you go, yeah. But okay, one part of Fate is the option called create an advantage, which is you can either use it to create a new aspect on a situation or something, or you can use it to kind of essentially prime an aspect that you have, and you can use it to add what's called a free invoke. Like normally I would spend a fate point to invoke evoke something, but you can then use a skill to essentially charge up an aspect and get some free invokes on it.
Like for example, in my case, I might have that. Let me check my bag.
Yeah.
I'm literally stuffing stuff
Yeah.
into my bag in expectation of running into stuff.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking that since Davis has been doing some specific organization on his research, and you've been doing some extra stuff on your map. So
Yeah, I would have been having them scanned into my laptop so that I can 3D model.
Yeah. So go ahead. Let's make a roll on that. What skill would you like to use for that?
Probably. Actually, they're maps, engineering,
There we go.
because it's all architecture.
Yeah.
Even though yes, parts move.
Yeah.
It's still architecture.
Okay.
I'm great at engineering.
And you got a 0 on your roll.
Yeah, 0 total.
Okay.
That's why I said I'm great at engineering.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and write down on your old maps there. Something like an X or something, so that you have a free invoke on it. And Davis, let's go ahead and have you make a roll on research, unless you have a skill that you prefer to use on getting your research in order.
No, research seems appropriate. I have an adequate amount.
And that's a flat.
Yeah. So just adequate.
Adequate. For this, it should be okay. Go ahead and put a mark on your thing there that you have a free invoke, X or whatever. You know, make a block. No. On the actual, you can do it on the actual card. So, okie doke. We seem to have lost our.
They may have run off to the restroom.
Yeah, pit stop. So
That means maybe I should run off to the restroom.
if you want to take a quick 5, but
It'll be less than 5, I expect.
In your case, the one thing I would expect you to do is to make sure that you're familiar with your key,
yeah,
like all
Back
uses
real
of
soon.
it.
yeah. So while we're waiting, I said we can take a quick 5 if you want, or if there's any other things you want to, any other questions you want to ask, feel free.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're not, it's not really an active in-game thing. If you want to ask things about the game or whatever, feel free to do.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because it's. I'll put it this way: it's literally been 15 years since I played. Since I played Uru.
Okay.
So it's like I'm trying to dredge up memories from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That was high school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Catherine, you know Uru pretty well, right?
Yeah, it's been a little while, but I've played it.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, when we're trying to remember things, if you remember something, spit it out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because even if it's not relative to your character, it might be relative to somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, side talk, fine. We're all in this together. So.
I think we're trying to do is break into the fortress.
There is an unknown key signal coming from somewhere in Garrison, and they're going to be exploring that.
We've been asked to go investigate because we have experience not dying.
Yes, that is the primary qualifier for the Society for Creative Engineering is that you figured out how not to die.
So far.
Yeah, because I figure experience-wise, Andy's probably been around the city a while.
Mm-hmm.
If they weren't originally part of the DRC group, it was they wandered down and DRC just couldn't get them to work. And they fixed enough things that it's like, okay, you're actually useful. We're not going to just send you away.
Sounds good. And
Hence why they have a world book. They got them in one of the earlier groups and has kind of, filled it out as time went on.
yeah.
Which is also probably why their little island is a complete mess. It's like, I might have it on my island, but that would take much to get back.
So we're waiting for Theo, and then we'll get back. We will begin the operation.
All right.
How flexible is Unwritten as a scenario? Does everything sort of assume this sort of DRC in the canon?
Unwritten, posits a specific sort of posits a time frame, kind of later on, and there are some details in there. Lots of it's left very vague. There are parts of it that are very specifically, you're given not one answer, but several multiple answers. There's also a list of what I call frameworks in there for different types of campaign you might want to do. This sort of thing, or maybe you're out in the ages. You decide you're out in the ages somewhere and you want to start the ideal utopia, or maybe you decide that you're on the surface, and you're people who are going around making sure that now that some people on the surface have linking books, they're not using them to do the wrong things. Think about that jewel store theft where the person takes steals all the jewelry, lights a fire in the middle of the jewelry store, holds the book over it, disappears, and then the book drops into the fire. Yeah.
That makes it certainly very interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, you've always got the fun of you go to use a linking book and it doesn't take you where you thought you were going.
Yeah. I dropped one of your dice.
Trap books are fun.
I knocked
I'm
with my hand.
imagining
Hi,
an
Brooklyn.
underground backpack.
Pastor Freckle?
Discovered an
Oh,
What time is it?
that's definitely a very viable possibility.
Oh wow!
Plot.
Wow. Okay, so we spent a lot of time getting ready, so let's go directly into the thing. So
We
okay,
finished all of our research. And
yeah, big montage. printing things, shuffling things, strapping on stuff. Okay, so how are you entering Garrison?
I've got the books, I've got the Relto. You can all go through mine.
Uh huh.
All right, cool.
Okay. Okay. You all make get your way into the Garrison. It's the usual rotating room. Sort of thing. You can hear that the machinery is operational. So the building not only is the building rotating, but you can hear the kind of clunking of all of the other buildings.
But all of it sounds sound.
The machinery sounds sound. Yes.
Good.
What? Okay. So what are you guys going to be doing?
I think that's where we need to get is actually into the fortress, so it can actually plant the attack spike. Or
Let's see if we can get any kind of signal registration to back up the information Laxman gave us.
Sure.
He had a key signal. What do we find?
Okay. Make an experiment roll.
Okay. Captain
buttons does it
Trudeau
work?
and Dorian Sheenan be with me.
There you go. Swapped out classes. Now we mean business.
Invoking the root cause analysis
There you go.
originators. And I'm coming up neutral.
Okay. So what's
But
your
I'm
experiment?
sitting on a +4.
Okie doke.
Nice.
So pop up. You put your high key access thing in there, and you kind of it's got the screen going, and there's actually you're seeing there are several different pings across the system. You can kind of see that there's some keys in the area here, but there's just like beep 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 beep, and you're seeing little like pings of other keys just all over, like as if. It was here, and there's another one here, another one here, and they're moving like it's almost like they're like teleporting all around. Just like
But these all seem to be indicating as being in this age.
they're in this age, and it's hard to kind of get a fix on them because they're snapping in and out like that. But it definitely is all around.
For the sake of
Multiple,
insanity,
rapid,
over his
coming
shoulder.
and going.
Click.
There you go.
And then count.
On that particular one, you get about 5, just in and around. But you
It's-
figure if you take a couple of pictures, you'll get different numbers because
Can I get
What we're
relative
looking
distance
for
out
is
of
the
this?
highest number.
the highest number. Oh, you're looking for like a cluster.
Well, I'm going like snap, 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 and then what's the most numbers we get?
Okay. Okay.
I'm looking for numbers like min, average, and max.
Sure.
The average is probably the actual number we're dealing with,
Uh-huh.
just simply because it might be possible that it's picking it up in 2 places of that's where it left and this is where it is now.
Okay. Okay. So we'll do another unwritten specific thing.
That's where you take
We're going to do an investigation thing. So what it is that everybody decides what skill you're using for the investigation. And you go ahead and you roll your that skill and do it against a difficulty of good. And tell me how if you succeed and how much by. So and what skill you're using.
I might have to.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I might have to run out on you.
Oh, you got to leave the game.
It's like family stuff.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that's always
Do you want some?
Bad. If someone wants to like hop in
Sure.
and
Real quick.
become Montgomery Hendricks, they're welcome to take side of me.
Yeah, we got a space open real quick. Somebody wants to jump in.
That shoulder.
No, you just use the same character. You'll take over the character.
Yeah. You would be going off of what's already which to be fair, is still fairly generic.
No problem.
Were those her dogs?
They are now. Okay. So you're the Indiana Jones at heart. Quick question: how much role playing game experience do you have?
No.
None. Okay.
But I sort of heard what you were saying in
Okay.
the beginning.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds great. And if you have questions, ask. We're all here to help each other out. Okay, so we're going to be doing our investigation. So, like I said, everybody choose a skill. roll, and you're rolling against the good. So subtract the good amount, which is 3, from your result, and tell me what you get.
Subtract 3 from my result?
Yeah, because you're going against a difficulty 3.
Oh.
That's a good difficulty.
What the signal that I'm getting is getting seems something possibly impossible unless it's just a bad reading of some sort. Some sort. So I'm thinking that if it's something that extraordinary. Maybe it's actually something notice. So I'm actually just going to go topside and just see if I notice anything.
Sure, sounds great.
Taking
Make your
lots
notice
of
roll.
rolls and comparing them together, that's research. I managed a plus one.
Right.
Plus
That
1?
is- that is
On
a total of a
research.
+2.
Plus 2 on...
Those aren't pluses.
These are minuses, but I have a +4 on notice.
Ah.
Yes. Notice is his top.
Right.
Top skill.
Good
So
call.
I did research since I'm taking photos and
Yeah.
analyzing them. I got a total of a plus one.
Okay. Okay. What would Theo be using?
Well, Theo will typically use experiment.
Sounds good. So you're setting up some
Root
experiments.
cause analysis.
Sounds awesome.
Kepner-Trudeau standard
There you go.
industrial.
Roll them up.
And experiment for this sort of thing basically says that, like my compatriot here, I go topside, I get as far from the center of this rotating building as possible, and see how much my readings change when I'm moving and how it seems to reflect on where I am at the time I
Sounds
see it.
awesome. Make your roll.
Okay, so I've got +1 on balance, plus my 4 is 5 versus great, 4, 3, 2.
So you get-
Sitting at a +2.
Oh, Kefrith. What's Kefrith doing to figure things out?
I guess notice.
Uh-huh. You can make a notice roll. You can go ahead, and you can check. Everybody can check out the custom printed dice he's got there. The Denny fake dice.
All right, that's 1 positive and 2 negative.
Okay, so -1 from your notice.
Yeah, and it was only a +1.
Okay, so it's a 0. Now,
Yeah.
do you have any aspects that you think might be able to help you out here? You could either, you can invoke one of those aspects and you can get a +2, or you can invoke that aspect to get a reroll, whichever you prefer. What's your journey aspect there?
Oh, ready to put down roots.
Ready to put down.
I don't know how that's
But
relevant.
you do have a strong skill in surveying that might help.
Yeah, surveying's a good skill for kind of it's sort of like the super civil engineering surveying.
For one thing, you can look at distances and
Yeah.
go, that's approximately X
Yeah.
because you're used to measuring
Okay.
those
Yeah.
distances.
So did you want to? What's your surveying skill level?
This is good.
3.
Why don't you
Plus
use that instead of the notice?
3. Okay.
So that would be a 2 then, right? Well, no, let's see, +3. So you'd still get a 0. You tie on the roll.
Which is better than
Yeah,
getting
better than
below.
nothing. I said if you can still go ahead and if you can figure out an aspect or something like that that can help that you can tag. And in fact, all these aspects here that people have are in play. So if you can say hey, can I go look at that map and look at that map you have, and then you can spend your fate point to tag that her character's
Maps of
aspect.
Denis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get your plus.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. That would be a fate point. I'll just toss it to me here. Uh-huh. And you get a +2, so that's a 2 on the roll here. What's yours?
I'm not sure what I'm doing exactly. My highest relevant skill seems to be engineering, which is only fair. So I guess I'm using that.
No, I was just looking to see if there might be one that would be better. And
I'm going to empathize with
Go ahead. Go ahead and give it a roll.
That's
Do you have an aspect that you can tag, or can you think of a creative use of one of the other aspects that are on the board?
Of someone else's aspects.
Yeah, if any aspect that you can make an argument that you might be able to use is available for an invoke. Yeah.
I get the feeling these maps are going to get a lot of use.
Or, I mean, you've got that research there.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
And just,
the recent research seems actually potentially doubly useful here.
yeah. Spin. Go ahead and spin your fate point, and you can add a +2 to it, or you can do a reroll.
I'd rather add a +2.
Okay, so that gives you a 1. Okay. Right there. There we go. Okay.
Good toss.
Yeah, I was thinking. That made me look cool. That's a hard thing to do. So, what sort of thing would you do?
Like a fish out of the water.
Oh, no problem.
So what do I do?
Okay, we're in Garrison, and we're trying to figure out. We're mostly essentially it's an investigation thing. Everybody's kind of looking around to see what they can figure out. So you would look at your skills and say, what sort of thing would I be doing to figure things out, and what skill would I use?
Anything on any row, any column?
The column is just pretty much that's how good it is. Like, so your best. What's the best one you got on top there?
Research.
So doing using research skills, that would be that's the thing that you're best at. So if you can figure out some way to use your research skills, to help to try to figure things out, then you can roll in research. It could be, a bunch of people have details around. I mean, a bunch of people have files and stuff around you, and you have your own knowledge of Garrison, and you're Indiana Jones at heart. You have skill in anthropology, and you have a geophys kit.
Okay.
Do you know what geophys kit is?
This is what this is.
Yeah. Geophys essentially is what archaeologists use, geological physics. And it's a thing that it'll send electrical signals into the ground and bounce back off of things to see they'll use that to see what's down there. What? Like sonar, but usually it uses electrical pulses. So it's clay is less or more resistant to your general Earth sort of thing.
It's
Metals is another thing too.
a geological analyzer.
Yeah, so you could use that. So
My original.
So the bottom is
yeah.
So that's why these points are here.
Yeah.
Well,
Does that have
it's more the idea. It's
Yeah.
what you have taking
Yeah.
quick sequence of photos.
So you have a great in research. That's a +4. So you roll, add 4, and then you subtract your
Are
difficulty,
they teleporting to
which in this case is a 3.
Or is it
No, I'm telling you it's a 3.
the signal is
I'm telling you this
which case,
this
it's
activity is no, it's not a problem.
It's not random.
So I'm just saying, this is a level 3 difficulty. It means it's pretty good. It's pretty good difficulty. Level 3 is
that
good.
would require
So
it to be like some
you're gonna do some research. You're gonna break out your equipment.
and they're just flipping around.
Check the it's all mostly stone here, so you don't have to get a huge amount of stuff, but you'll get stuff that. So go ahead, make your roll. So roll all your dice.
Never
Add the pluses, subtract the minuses.
So how do I?
to maliciousness you can attribute to some hidden
So then
intel. It's
that
pertinent.
nothing is 0. So this is toast to -1.
And you got your 4 there.
What?
+4, so that's +3.
It's the big
Yeah,
thing
and the
of
difficulty
it's
was
an
3.
unknown signal.
So you roll -1. Your skill is 4. That's 3, and the difficulty was 3, so that takes it down to 0, which is a tie.
Maybe something can go.
Oh.
Now, could
Okay,
be
so
somebody
the roll is you take your skill, you add what you roll on it, and the roll sort of fate. So it's 3, and the activity is a difficulty 3. That's how hard it is. So in this particular case, you subtract that from the total there, which is 3. So 3 minus 3, 0. So that means that
So what's the most common
you tied. You didn't fail, but you didn't really get it. Now, because if you can find an aspect, which are these things, here or on your character sheet. If you can make an argument that can help you in some way, then you can spend one of your fate points, which is the tokens there, and you get a +2, or you can get a reroll.
My actual first thought is
convince somebody who have to.
So, what's Indiana Jones at heart? That means,
given the fact that they're
you're probably a pretty good archaeologist.
and experimenting.
That would be a
possible.
very good thing that would help you out.
either someone.
So if you want, you can spend a fate point,
Or there's some.
and you get a +2, or you can reroll, whichever you prefer.
Possible.
Is learn the grease and keeper. Those are my two options.
Those are your two options. If you spend the fate point.
Yep. All that fun of too many unknowns.
You want to reroll? Yeah. Okay. Give me your fate point. Give me one of the tokens.
Oh, I give you this.
Yeah. And then you reroll the dice.
And what does this do?
It's essentially we're doing it all over again.
Oh,
It was the idea that you get a better roll. Hopefully, you get a better roll this time.
that's
Zero's
zero.
out.
So that is the ultimate. The ultimate result is better. It's +1. As opposed to a 0. It means you do succeed, not spectacularly, but you do succeed. So, okay. So this is an investigation scene. So the result you got here is the number of questions that you can ask me. So you get 2 questions. You get 1. You get 1. You get 1. You get 2. You get 2. And these are the questions that you can ask me about the area. I mean, it doesn't, something with it doesn't require like a paragraph to answer, but it doesn't have to be yes or no, but like I want to know X, or why is it this, or something that you wouldn't just look at and go like, oh look, is the door open? That's not a question. But if it's something that you could use your skill to deduce, you just say I figure out why that happened, why that's that way, and then I answer. So
Well, I've got mine.
okay.
So I have 3D maps of the area already.
Yes.
Using the photos I've taken, combine those together to figure out whether or not there are particular rooms or areas that the key signal. I'm going to, for the moment, assume there's one and it's just everywhere. Whether or not there's a common set of areas that it seems to be going to,
Okay.
or whether or not it seems to be absolutely and completely random.
It is not random. There is a pattern to it. It does seem to be in areas that previously have not been accessed by explorers. Those doors that no one can ever get open. They're in there.
Okay.
So, y'all have other number of questions you can ask. So, if you want to know something, this is the time to ask.
And I would make that information available to everyone.
Sounds good.
I'd like.
Oh, you had a question.
You said that there were file cabinets.
Say there what?
You said that there were file cabinets.
It's Garrison. So they have those cabinets that you see in Garrison, but they're not files. There's some old equipment in them.
Cupboards that you would clean and stuff.
Yeah. That's not your question, by the way. You had a question you wanted to?
I would like to find out if it's possible that there's some sort of technological malfunction going on.
Okie doke.
Either with the DNE technology that's present throughout Garrison, or with the key, or whatever. There's a key or some sort of key network that's setting up this.
Okay. And so you'd be referenced since you used what was it? What was the skill used?
Engineering.
Engineering. Okay. And you've got your records there and that sort of thing. So, there is definitely some sort of malfunction going on, from what you can tell. You can't tell, like a cause of it, but I mean, and you don't know if that's entirely what, it's not. You don't know if it's the entirety of what's going on, but there are definitely malfunctioning systems involved.
Can I tell, like, if the system is within the key network, or if the malfunction is within the key network, or within some unknown system in Garrison?
You would have to do more research. You'd do more. You would have to essentially get more questions for that.
Okay.
So, we got a couple. You've got 2 questions. You still have your question. You both have 2. Oh,
Do I have a bag with me with books?
anything that would be, things that would make sense that you would have with you. You're an archaeologist. You'd probably bring archaeological tools and that sort of thing like that.
If it seems there's anything you're short on, most of us have our Relto books, and I certainly have the Garrison book we used to get here back at my Relto. We can always get back. We can always get more.
So, yeah, I brought a bag. It has a lot of research books in it.
Uh-huh.
So, I guess I would use my research.
Well, the question you can ask, you can just ask the question. You don't need to roll again.
Okay, so,
You've already done the research, and these are the fruits of your research.
okay. So, I found a page that has something on it that I think might be useful. Would it be useful in this situation, or am I wrong?
There's some you can have a page that's something it could be useful. The question is, do you want information or do you want something that you can use later on as sort of a boost, like
Information on how to. We're trying to get out.
or trying to figure out what's going on here.
Going on.
Yeah, you've been sent in to figure out where this weird signal is coming from.
Oh, signal.
Yeah.
I want to find information.
So yeah, that's the question. Do you have you've heard what we've been talking about. What sort of thing what question do you have about the situation?
Okay, is the pinging coming from down the ground or somewhere around us, ground level, or maybe above?
It is coming from inside the garrison buildings. It's coming from both garrison buildings, but like I said before, in those areas that have been not accessed. There's no signals coming from outside the buildings at all. There's no indication that there's any interference or anything coming from outside the building. This is all inside the garrison buildings themselves. So, you guys got questions?
Right. Right. Just yes, in terms of I guess I did a notice check. Notice check. Is there any sign of any recent traffic? Topside between forces. Literally looking for even disturbed dust or pressed vegetation.
The only places you see evidence of movement are the sort of the usual places that explorers go in Garrison. There's things have been obviously been moved around, the key dispenser, that sort of thing. But there's nothing that looks like outside of the normal areas. The unaccessible areas, you see no indication that the inaccessible areas have in any way been accessed. So that's one question.
Now, assume that you might notice I could have gone to the page and actually saying, down below.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is there down below? Is there any sign of there being anything that may have anything possibly underneath the moving platforms? Underneath the moving platforms or below.
Okay. You don't see any indication of anything happening below the platforms. You don't see any indication of you can see over to the prison building, and you don't see any indication over there of anything like below it. Nothing's coming from below or anything like that.
The fortress has not been breached.
Yeah, the fortress has not been breached in any way.
Okay.
So you've got two questions.
Well, golly, I got my readings from an extremity of our five-sided buildings
Yes.
on a sweep. I have a data miner advantage here.
There you go.
the fact that it's a large amount of data
Yep.
should not be a problem for me.
No
I
problem.
already have answers from other members in my group who have shared their findings
Yep.
that these are in previously unaccessed portions of the building we're in,
Yep.
and not the other one.
I mean, if you want to save them for a little bit, I mean, Kefir has a couple questions too. So if you, or if you want to collaborate, on
Well,
or if anybody,
to me it sounds like most of what's left here is the job for which the next step is that geophys kit
Okay.
to look for ways into the parts of this building that no explorers have accessed yet.
Okay. So if you guys want to if you want to hold those questions until later, we can
I
do
think
that.
so.
Do you want to do the same, Kefir, or do you have a specific question you want to use right now?
I don't have a specific question now.
Okay, sounds good.
Can one of them, would it be possible for either of them to follow up my question?
Yeah, sure. You guys can all work together about how these questions are your team.
While they're looking at stuff, I'm like just analyzing the maps and trying to go, okay, if we follow this path, we might get into here, and if we follow that path, we might get into here.
Sounds
And
good.
I'm actually like tracing my finger along the screen, muttering that.
Sure.
Because I did ask earlier that there was some sort of I did figure out earlier that there's some sort of technological malfunction. And I'd like to find out, I'd like to figure out if that's a problem with whatever keys are sending us the signal, or if it's a problem that's coming from the recent fortress. So if either of you wanted to spend a question to find out about that, that might be helpful. Otherwise, we'll just
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you finding out about what?
I've determined that there's some sort of technological malfunction.
Okay.
And I'd like to know if the malfunction is from within the key network, either our keys or whatever keys are sending out the signal, or if the malfunction is coming from some system within the Grecian fortress.
Okay.
So yeah, if either of you want to spend a question on that, feel free. You want? Kefir, you want?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. I mean, you sit down with you're looking at you're looking over pictures that Andy's taken, and they got the research. You got other things that all out looking at it. You're looking over Theo's shoulder at the key, that sort of thing. So it occurs to you that you've been around. You've seen lots of different things. You've seen systems break and that sort of thing. So there are two things. It looks like there are two things going on. There's a signal. That signal, it's a real signal coming from somewhere, coming through the key system. And then there's a technical problem that's causing this sort of weird blipping thing to go around. So, there is a technical problem here, but it's not what's causing the signal. It's making the signal hard to track. Bring it out. We're all, I said you're all in together.
Please share with the class.
Does anyone have timing here?
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
do.
know where the benchmark. We know where the benchmark of Greason is.
Okay.
Maybe we should check that.
Okay.
You head on over there?
Yeah.
Because if there's actually a malfunction in the benchmark, perhaps that might be a thing that might be causing.
Before he goes, double check that everybody's got everybody else on their key network.
Awesome. Everybody, you're all synced up.
It's one of those things of before anybody goes anywhere.
Yeah. So you can all talk to each other on your keys.
You're one of the people without a linking book. The big question is, who do you want to go with you? Because at the very least, if you're going to do climbing, you do need a climbing buddy.
Yeah. And you might want to think about, athletics. Who has a high athletics? Because that's what climbing's going to fall under.
Yeah, does anybody else besides me have high athletics?
I've got fair.
I only have fair as well.
What's athletics?
That's like climbing thing.
You're
that's going
about
up,
to
that's
jump
going up all
off
those
the
stairs
Greason bridge.
in
It's
front
the
of.
thing that everybody else goes and does while I'm on my computer.
Yeah.
Aimed at that rock spire out there that you might have
We
actually
do
gone
need to get
to
the timing
in
stuff in place
Greason.
at some point so that I can start mapping that.
Yes. Are we going to try to do? Are we mapping we're mapping the small one,
Well,
5-sided one, right?
Once I can get the speeds down, we can account for that.
Okay.
And then we can move on and check other ones if we need to.
Okay.
Well,
So okay, who's going to have? Because he doesn't have a roto book, so if he gets stuck, he's stuck.
Right. But
So,
figure out who has high athletics score. I know
Or has
I
some.
think only myself.
You may be the only true hit the jungle explorer there.
Davis said that they
I'm
have.
gonna go with.
Okay.
As long as there's two people together, I only have passable athletics, but I do have medical support.
There you go.
Which means if somebody does fall,
Okay, so you guys are gonna go over there. And are you gonna do the normal sort of wait and go up to top, wait and jump thing, or?
I'd say it's probably safer to actually have the partner up top, lower them down to the height of the thing, and then have them on the hook front. Because it's still a moving platform to a stationary platform, a moving platform that we can't stop.
That seems reasonable to me. That seems reasonable to me, and I agree that it's probably safer.
So I'd say with your athletics, you're probably the best one to actually do the drop.
So, so you're gonna head out doing that. You
meanwhile,
guys are.
he's setting the markers so that I can start getting the data on that.
We're tracking the smaller one, 5-sided, right?
Whichever one we happen to be in.
Yes,
We're
that's
in the
the small
5-sided building. That's the one where we've been getting the signals anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
it's from the end of that bridge that we can reach the spire
they're
with that marker. I've been
essentially
there.
going to the,
You may have too.
I still want
that platform
the
between the two.
rotation of this building
They're doing kind of they're going over that in
Yes.
a little safer way
Because I
than
wanna be able
tossing
to
themselves off the
collate
side.
all the data.
Like you have to maneuver.
Because on top of everything else, we may have
they're
figured out a
rock
way to get into
outcropping,
some of those locks.
Now, and actually, you're an Indiana Jones sort of person at heart. So I'm doing what's called I'm going to get to what's called compel, which is that as an Indiana Jones at heart, you want to go out and do all the cool stuff. So I'm going to give you an option. If I'm going to say here's a fate token. I'll give you a fate token if you go do something stupid because you want to do the adventuring, or you can pay me a fate point and tell me to start off, whichever you prefer. You can tell me to go away. So essentially, is you're an Indian Jones who's like, well, that sounds like adventure. So if you do that, I'll give you a point. If you decide that you don't want to do it, well, maybe I shouldn't. You have to give me a point. You want the point? Okay. Okay. So you guys, are starting your thing. What are you?
Good thing it was empty.
Yep. What adventure? What bit of adventure are you trying to accomplish? I mean, they're out with putting there. They're out there and they got a rope down. Are you gonna decide just like I'll show them how it's done? Just jump onto the outcropping? Or
You've got your roto book. You'll be fine.
No, I have my rope.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah. Is that what you're gonna do?
What?
Is that what you're gonna do? You get to decide what stupid thing you're gonna do.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna repel, and then I'm probably gonna. Is there a rope on the other side?
Sure. Or you can get a rope easy.
Yeah, I can lasso or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I
You
can.
can do full on anything.
Yeah, I'm on one side. I'm rappelling down. I take a lasso and I put it on the other side.
Uh-huh.
Then I try jumping.
Oh, okay. There you go. Give me an athletics roll.
Athletics roll.
Yeah. So roll your dice and then add that to athletics.
That's a 0.
Okay. So what's your athletics?
2.
2. Okay.
Plus 2.
I'm going to say that this is a good difficulty sort of thing. So you're at a -1.
Minus 1. What is that?
Which is a failure. So you can either find if you can spend a fate point and find an aspect, or you have the option of succeeding at a cost.
Can't
Which-
we Relto out?
It depends what's happening. We haven't determined exactly what's happening yet. So, so if you succeed at a cost, you turn that failure into a success, but something bad happens too. Yes, that's the cost.
Oh, so I find something, but then something bad happens as well.
You succeed at what you're doing, which is the big leap thing. But then something bad also happens.
You could land badly, break your leg. Although I don't want a -1. It could just be you twist your leg in a really bad way.
It could be that you've saved your own life, but you've suffered some cost.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about that's in the system is that very often if you fail, you still have the option of taking success at a cost, which means that you do accomplish what you want to do, but there's some other setbacks.
I'm baking a cake. I've failed horribly, but I've managed to rescue it from the oven, even though I've now burned my hands.
Yes. Okay.
And you're the one who determines.
I determine the cost, yes. So if you have an idea, I'll listen, but I get to determine.
So I will. I'll go ahead and.
Success at a cost doesn't cost you a point. The cost is that I get to do something to you.
And you're the one who. You're the one who determines what goes bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that you're going with success at a cost.
No, but can I rappel up? Can I climb?
So you failed. So you need to either success at a cost. I mean, you're gonna end up. If you fail, you're gonna end up hanging from a rope. You're not hurt or anything, but you're not in a necessarily good location. So is that and you're not taking success with cost. Okay, so yeah, you're like you do your big thing, and you miss. You swing out, and you swing back, and you swing out. But so as you're getting lowered down, you guys are working down, and then he's like, and it's this great sort of like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Never mind.
So what do you guys do?
Well, I have the aspect of do no harm, so I've got to figure out some way to deal with this.
Okay.
I feel like I have to prioritize life.
Okay. So we'll probably need to work together to figure out how you want to help this guy. Well, you guys can talk about it a little bit while we talk. We start working back on you. So you're doing the timings and everything like that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I plant the spike at the spike in one of the many crevices in this building, so that you can start taking readings.
Yep. Start getting that going, correlate the information. It's one of those things of, I'm trying to compile at least enough information that I can figure out, hey, by the way, if we go down this passage in the next 20 minutes, it'll open up into this room.
Okay. Are you all three of you working on it? You got the key access?
I've got the key access. She's
you got
got
the
the
map?
If
computer.
anything, it would help because the more I observe the blitz, the more I can figure out whether or not there's a particular pattern.
Okay. So you're the one who's going to be trying to figure out the pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a team effort here. So what we're going to do, you guys are going to both roll skill rolls to assist her. And what it is that you're going to be doing is you're going to essentially be giving her free invokes on her maps. So how would you be assisting? Would you just experimenting, use your experiment skill, sort of like that?
On large data sets, I can raise my research 2 points based upon my data miner
There you go.
stuff.
And this would be data mining.
This would be.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Roll it.
And if anything, the data set's just getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's a +4 there, minus the 1 here. That's +3.
Yeah.
Is this flat or is it against a good or something?
It's against the good. So I would suggest that you find if you look at is there an aspect that you can use to reroll or add to?
I don't think that my existing aspects will add anything. It looks like I come out
logic-minded
flat.
skeptic. If you're logic-minded, that means you're good at figuring stuff out. So I would.
Well, yeah, that was where I got my data miner in the first place.
I mean, the
wasn't it?
skeptic could also be whether or not he thinks there's a pattern.
Yeah. So I'd be willing to let you spend a fate point to invoke off your high concept. And that gives you a +2. So now you succeeded at 2, which gives a free invoke on the maps to Andy. So you're essentially you're doing something cool and then you're passing it to Andy.
Yeah, if anything, you're pulling together as much information on all the different blips.
And then.
Okay, so what are we looking at?
So what we're trying to do is analyze the maps to figure out if we might be able to find a passage to one of the areas where these dots are clustered. Now at this point I'm assuming it's just one signal and it's fractured.
Yeah.
But it could be multiples.
I think this may be where we need to bring Montgomery's geophysics kit into play to look for those
busy.
passages.
Montgomery's busy right now.
Well, the
Montgomery's
thing is
busy.
what we want to do is we want to figure out which passages we need to try and find first. Always start with a place to look.
Okay. So
Now, I'd say
After all, we don't want to be looking in the wrong place.
I'm wondering how far I can actually take the invoking.
Hey, I'm font of trivia. I get to make references.
Aspect, like having experience with
What does old school mean? Old school means punch cards, man.
understanding the structural damage in a building.
sure, if it's something this is about the aspect's really about some secret passage you have. So
So I'm thinking, guys, I think he just thought of something. About 20 years back, I was trapped in this burning castle in Scotland. Scotland, and there was this Scotland. It was after some earthquake. That part doesn't matter. That part doesn't.
it's just like that time in Leningrad.
Matter. But I was able to find. But I was able to find my way out, a safe way out. Because I could see that through a new passage that had actually that had formed in the supporting walls.
There you go.
And walls. This actually seems kind of like that.
Make a roll. What skill are you using? Notice?
Yes.
Go for it.
Hey, that's a total of a +4.
So you got a +1. You made a very good. Actually, I think I had it. I picked up your.
Oh yeah, I think so.
But you made a very good argument already. So if you want to tag that and make that a +3.
Okay.
Just give me the hit point and it's a +3.
Okay.
Okay. So you got a +3. A +3 is an exceptional success, or it's called you've excelled. So in this particular case, you not only give 1 free tag to that, you give 2. So you now
All
have
the free
tags.
invokes.
Yeah. So you now make the roll.
Oh, that's a pretty roll on engineering.
What'd you get?
I got +3 on the dice.
There you go. And your engineering is 4.
Yup.
Okay. All right.
That's a +7.
Yep. Which would be a 4, which is you excel at the task.
And you know what? I will use one of the free invokes on top of that to boost it up even further. Because you know what? I'd really like to try and get into some of those rooms.
Okay. So
I've got-
you excel significantly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
It's one of those things if you can see that here's the rotation and
Yeah.
hey look, this path goes green.
yeah. And so yeah, it's just he's got his key, and, Parker's like, Neil's like, over there, and, you're collating that sort of like, and then, camera kind of zooms behind you, and then all the things kind of like line up, and you're just the map's like, there.
If we go in the next 5 minutes, we can make it.
Yeah, you've got a really good. You've actually managed to get a really good handle on just the entire pattern. So, essentially, I'm going to say that if you want to say that need to go to a point where it is at any particular time, you got it. You just have to figure out how to get there.
Yeah. Do we want to go check one of the cluster points?
You've got the data. Let's do it.
Okay. First, over the key. Hey guys, we're going to go check one of the data points. I'm going to leave a couple of notes here. So if you need to try and follow us, just follow those.
Okay.
Take the time, write out basically quick instructions, and then we'll pack up so that we can get that first note.
Okay. We'll switch back to these guys now. So, Kevin, you're down there. Montgomery is swinging free.
I'm a little confused as to what the spatial. Yeah, no, you can use it.
So, okay, which one of you two is actually being lowered down? Kefris? Okay, so you're lowering down Kefris. Montgomery essentially came up and did kind of a tied the off to one side on the other side of the thing, and did this sort of great whoosh. But it's kind of so. Kefris is here and you're moving along, and the entire building's rotating. So Montgomery's starting to kind of get a weird spin to it. So what are y'all doing? You want to try to maybe catch him as he goes by, toss him a rope?
Hold out an open Relto book.
I was spinning around.
You're starting to get some torque going on, so yeah.
So, how about if I take my legs and I sort of hug them? I sort of find a rock sticking out, and now I'm not moving anymore.
You're going to try to counter that? You're trying to counter the
swing.
Yeah. Give me an athletics roll. We'll make it a simple. We'll make it only a 2.
Simple straight roll.
A difficulty is a 2. I apologize.
2. You need to beat a 2.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Maybe.
So if I go over, that's good?
Yes.
Yes. High is good. Under is
Under is failure.
It is failure.
How about
just keep swinging?
If you're even, it means that you do manage to do it, but it's not. It'll be. If in this case, you'll get yourself steady, but you're about to turn at any moment. Yeah. You're barely okay. I think I got it. I think you got it.
You're probably in some silly pose to begin with, too.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's 0.
Even. Okay.
It's even.
That's what you're doing now.
So yeah, you've got if you kind of lean over like this and
Extend the leg out to the back.
So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put you in a weird position, and this is an aspect. That it's an aspect on the situation. So just while you're out there, something might happen. And if you can come up with if the situation comes up that you think of some sort of great way, the weird position is going to help you out, you can still tag it. You can still spin a fate point to help you, but you gotta make the case to me that it's actually going to help you. Otherwise, and also, if something goes up, maybe you're in a weird position, something doesn't work. We'll see. Okay, but what's our nomad doing? You've got all the athletic expertise. You're just hanging out there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'll use my athletic ability to try to help.
Yeah. What would you like to do to help? You want some more rope?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You got the extra rope in your climbing gear. That's pretty simple. Go ahead and normally I wouldn't make you roll. Actually, we'll do this. You're in a really weird position. So you can, he will have to roll unless you, he will have to roll if you take the compel. And it means, which means, I'm making a bad situation. I'm offering you a chip to make it. I'm offering you another chip to make it more difficult. So if you accept the chip, accept the compel, he's going to have to roll. If you pay me a chip, he doesn't have to roll.
And I want to get as much of these as possible.
This is just fuel for your
If you really want to succeed at something, you spend those chips.
Yeah.
The goal isn't to get the most chips. It is just to play the game.
Yeah, it's fuel for your adventures.
Yeah, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
I'm in a very tight spot. It's not good at all.
Right.
So I want to.
Good choice. Okay, so yeah, you're just like you throw the rope over. Okay, so you got so he's you're no longer in a weird position anymore because he's got a rope to you. Okay. So he's stable. You're stable. You're up top. You're gonna. Are you guys gonna? Which direction are you going? Are you gonna trying to go back down? Are you gonna try to bring everybody back up?
No, we're not going there.
Yeah.
Well, so maybe we should still trying to get him.
Do you want to get him up to safety first and then try it?
Yeah.
Okay. Getting him up to safety, you're an expert in this sort of thing. That's not a problem. Okay, so you're back up. So you're up there with him. He's probably giving you a side eye for the jump. So you're swinging back around. You're going to try to make it over there again. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an athletics roll. This one's going to be tough. So this is a difficulty of 3.
It's 2 plus 2 minus.
Okay, so even roll.
Yeah.
But your athletics is a 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a +1. So yeah, you can make it over there. So as things are swinging around, you come back to the outcropping. You're just like get a little swing in there, and you're just like, okay, we're over to the outcropping. Grab it. Just kind of and you make it look easy. Yeah, awesome. And then you can flying your way using your climbing gear, get your way up to the top. I assume, did you want to throw a rope over to them so they can come over? Or?
Yeah,
Sure. Okay. You getting a rope to them is fine. It's going to be a little bit of wait for them to come around. Okay. So you guys are gonna. Are both of you or one of you gonna try to go over there too? Over to the outcropping.
I would like to send him over first.
Okay. You want to go over? You're willing to do that?
I'm not sure if we want to, but I'm not there.
It's adventure.
It's adventure, yeah.
Like,
So it'll be another athletics roll.
I mean, how many people does it take to screw the
Unless you can think of some other
Depends
cool
on the
way of
light
doing
bulb.
it.
I figure one of us has to go over.
Yeah.
Because we've currently stranded him with no rope to rope.
Yeah. So if you can think of a creative way to use the skills that you have to make it easier for you to get over there. What?
Finesse.
Finesse is hand-eye coordination. So if what's your finesse?
+3.
What level is your
3.
3? Okay. If you want to make a finesse roll to catch the rope, as you go by, your little sling thing and catch the rope that's been set up. Yeah. Go ahead and make a finesse roll. Roll 4 dice. Add it to your finesse. And a difficulty of 3, so we'll subtract 3 off after your roll.
I'm not having a good day today.
Oh.
-1. And your finesse is a 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at a -1. So let's see. What's your other journey aspect again?
No, this is plus, minus, minus, minus. So that's -2. And 2 plus 3. So that's total +1.
Against a difficulty of 1.
Okay, right. Then after the difficulty of.
Okay, so it's
Math
-2.
is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, math.
What's your other aspect there?
My aspect? You mean this?
Yeah.
Not sitting on my hands. I don't know what that means.
What it means is that you're likely to do things as opposed to wait for things to happen.
Yeah.
But actually, the climbing gear has been all set up.
Shouldn't that give him? Shouldn't the fact that we're sending him over instead of me is an example of him not sitting on his hands?
Yeah.
He's the one going for it.
if you want to, I'd be willing to take it.
Go forth an adventure.
Yeah, I'd be willing to take if you want to spend one of your tokens to get a +2, or a reroll. There's a couple different ways we can do this.
invoke
There's
climbing
you can
gear.
invoke. The climbing gear is out. He's got it all set up. You can spend 2 tokens, one on your not in your hands and one on his climbing gear to get a +4. You can stack invokes. So that would take your -2 to a +2. It means that it does mean you're out of fate points for the moment until something else comes up.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, it just means that you can't put that little extra effort out next time.
Yeah, I'm having a bad day, so I
Okay.
manage.
There we go. So, yep, so it's just like, last minute, it's just like, got it. And the camera is still on the rotating building, and it goes away from you. So you're like, yeah. Okay, so you climb up. Are you gonna stay over here, or are you gonna hop over?
Hop over, you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking to Davis here. Davis, you're over there, and he's still on the main garrison building.
I don't think it's necessary for me to come over yet. If someone injures themselves, maybe I'll try to do that. But
Sure.
For the time being, I think it's okay if I stay in actual distance.
Okay, you guys are both over there. He's staying over there just in case anything. You were sent over to look at the maintainer mark, the spike there. Yeah, there seems to be some sort of like buzz coming out of it. Sort of thing. Do either of you have like an engineering or experiment or something like that skill in your tree?
Experiment's a 2, engineering's a 1.
What about you, Kefrith?
No, I really don't.
How about notice?
That's only a +1.
He's got surveying.
What?
He's got surveying. That might help.
Oh, I do have that.
Oh,
Yeah. One. You have a high surveying, don't you?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. One. You both have surveying. Okay. Why don't you both make rolls off of your surveying versus? Unfortunately, for surveying, this is probably gonna be tougher. So this is gonna be actually a 4 difficulty. So. But yeah, make a roll and add it to your surveying.
And
Zeros.
0 again.
You got a 0 on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
0 is also.
Nice. But and what's your surveying?
3.
Okay, so neither you can, with your surveying, there's something wrong with it, but you can't quite figure out what it is.
Meanwhile, the engineer is going, I'm going on an adventure!
And I'm the one following you.
I mean, at this point, us 3 are going down the path, having sent them a message saying, hey guys, we're gonna go do this.
Okay. So,
What's
I'm gonna.
that?
We're starting to run out of time. So
5 minutes,
we'll do a little bit of a skip.
That's fair. Especially considering how many infreed folks are on the map.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to go ahead and say that I'm going to just kind of hand wave that last roll so that you guys can figure out what's going on. Yeah, there's definitely some mechanical thing going on, and like something has hit it like a rock or something like that. And it's actually relatively simple. It's just like it's something's off kilter, and you kind of click it back into place. Yeah. That seems a little off.
Just bash it once or twice, it'll be fine.
Yeah. The signal, while you guys are going down there, the signal suddenly becomes very clear. And you get a single key signal coming from the location that you'd found.
Lucky!
You guys get over there, and with his high access key, you can actually open the door.
Okay, the first thing that just happens as soon as the door opens, snap, 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 snap.
There is, it looks sort of like the key dispenser devices, except there's like a bunch of big like grade 0 looking crystals all kind of stuck into it, and it sort of looks there's like a key on it, but it looks like it's been it's built into the device. So if you and I'm fast forwarding a little bit here. If you tap on it, you get a key screen pop up from the device, and there's a message that's scrolling past. It's like it looks like it's garbled. It says need help. need help, earthquake, mini casualties, in my office. It says gas sharper, and it just keeps repeating that over and over again.
Okay. Well, the benefit is you got the tech whiz with you,
Yeah.
so.
Make a roll, dude.
Douglas Sharper's office. We know where
Yeah,
that
I'm
is.
tweeting that a little bit, but
Oh, the dice are being very nice. I'm taking all his luck. That's +3 on the dice.
Where are we? What are we doing?
they found the communication source, and they're fixing it. So, okay.
Yeah, +3 to begin with.
Not a problem. So yeah, you fiddle with a little bit. There's obviously some things out of alignment. It's no one's been in here for who knows how long.
Pull open the side panel,
Yeah.
adjust a few things.
Blow some dust out of things. And
No. We don't blow dust with breath. We use compressed
Oh.
air. It's unsanitary.
And it says, please help. There have been many casualties. There's been an earthquake. We have many casualties. The looking book is in my office. Douglas Sharper.
Okay.
Linking book in Sharper's office.
It could be the bookshelf that's behind the chair, that desk.
You mean
Why
Teledon?
does Sharper know about any casualties?
Good question.
That's the fun mystery.
You'd use the
Take
linking book to
a photo
go there,
of the
wherever it
message
is.
itself. Which, let's be honest, I'm taking photos of everything.
Yeah.
At this point, it's, hey guys, we figured out what's going on. We need to go back.
I'm over here like, oh, hooray, we accomplished nothing.
No, we accomplished a lot.
No,
and
you accomplished a lot.
I will read back the message exactly, and it's, if there had been more, what you guys were doing would have been way more important than what I got lucky on.
Well, no, I mean, I'll say that the signal is clear because what they did,
because they
and you
tinkered.
wouldn't have been able to get the message without the signal being clear at all. So,
Which, to be fair, we don't know that. We don't know that
Well,
they
yeah.
adjusted that.
yeah. But
It's
yes,
causing
so as a player, you understand that
Yeah.
you
Right.
guys did accomplish what you were trying to do.
But like, as Davis influenced sort of, I went over here and we sort of got, like, we went over here and kicked the marker and nothing happened and now we're going back.
Which,
So
to be fair, going back home is easy.
yeah.
We just roto out.
Okay. So yeah. So do you guys know where are you guys going for the Sharper's office?
Yeah, I realized that Sharper's office is actually in.
Yeah.
So what
The
if
Baron's
it's-
office. The Baron's office is what it's called.
What if it's behind a painting?
Yeah.
So it specifically says that the Lincoln book is in his office.
Yes.
Which implies he was here at some point.
Yes.
Because he had to have left the message.
Or the message is coming from elsewhere.
So the message is being relayed.
This
Yes.
is a relay station.
Yeah, this is a relay station. You
Okay.
probably an emergency
When
relay
was
station.
the last time he was seen?
Years ago.
When was the last time there was documentation of he went through this area and then?
The last time he was seen was back when the Barra left.
Okay.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. At this point, the logical thing would be he says it's in his office,
Yeah.
which would be the office he was assigned of working at.
Yeah.
So we go there.
Okay. And you just, and then I'm going to skip kind of the search stuff, but it's behind it. It's got it hidden behind, in a little safe behind one of the things, which you guys can figure out easy to get it. So yeah, there is a linking book in there.
Now the fun part is, the message said that there was an earthquake, and there's a lot of injured Dunny.
Yep.
We need to report this. Because at that point, it's not just us six are doing a rescue mission, it's we really should get as many people as possible for a rescue mission.
Well, one of us has Laxman's key number. We can send him a key message and keep going.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's Bob.
Direct private chat. We don't have to use Keymail. We can do it in real time.
Yeah. And we brought extra medical supplies. We can
Yeah.
at the very least start.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, if you contact Bob, he'll tell you he's going to get things spun up. But this is the sort of guys the thing we call you guys for. So
We did our job. We're doing our job again.
yep, we got more for you. What? The linking panel shows the inside of a cave. But it's it's like a hollow cave, and you can see sunlight and that sort of thing. And you can see what looks like a beach, but that's about it.
Big question: who wants to go first?
Are we all together? Yeah. Yes. You've all regrouped.
It's all regrouped.
Hey, folks.
Things we don't have any tickets.
Hey, everyone, can I get everyone's attention, please? We are closing this room. Please wrap up what you're doing and get out of here in the next 5 minutes. The room will be locked until the morning, so take anything you need with you.
This isn't like some conventions where we could literally be in here all night.
Yeah. But yeah. So okay. So unfortunately, what means we're going to have to stop. But the dice are yours. Oh, cool. Please keep them. And if you don't have three of these, let me know, and I'll make sure you get to keep these tokens as well.
Oh, cool.
You get 3 of them. So.
That's awesome.
So, and you can see that, and it actually has actual Dini on it. I got this word from Rawa directly. It's Zafe, which means fake. So everybody got 3?